Hi, this is Jasmine, and I am so excited because today we are going to be creating the future self together, right here from all our work together. So if you're joining now and this is the first video that you've seen of me, stop, because I want you to first create your present self, and I want you to tap into your values and then come back to the core, to this future self. I mean, feel free to watch this future self, but to really get the most out of it, I want you to have all of these elements together. So today, we are going to end up with this. So let's get started. Okay guys, are you ready? You have done an amazing job, and I want you to, one, put your present self somewhere on your table right now, right? And put down your values, words that you created from the last video. And this is something that I just create for my clients, is I like to create kind of, you know me, I'm all visual. So I like to create a really nice kind of circular visual for them. If you're wondering what this is actually a watercolor of my core values. And now go ahead and bring up your own unique, customized future self template. If you haven't made it yet, don't worry, you can pause this, just click to my interactive module. Within minutes, you'll have it. So let's get started. The same thing that we did with the present self, we are going to do with the future self. We're going to ask ourselves the same kind of prompts, but in this time around, it's kind of, you're not thinking about your present self. You're thinking about, what does this look like for your future self? The future self where your values are the priority, right? So that's why I like to put it right next to myself to be this visual reminder. And I like to look at my present self too, just so I can see where I am right now. So the same thing goes. We're going to ask ourselves the prompts. Make sure you're in a nice kind of quiet place, or a place that you can relax and really, really focus on this work and yourself. So taking a pen. And I'm going to start the same way I did before. I'm going to start with love. And when you do this, I want you not to think, like I said, of your present self. What would love look like if your scale was a 5? Remember, we have this scaled out between 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the happiest. So you could start off with, your hearts. I put hearts. You can put dots, all in the 5s. So you can really see what, your 5s will look like and be in that mindset. So when you say, the prompts would be like, are your friends supportive of you? Was the original prompt for the present, be like, yes, awesome. I'm surrounded by amazing people. I have, my old group of friends from when I was a child. And for me, like, as a bonus, I also have many new friends that have the same mindset as me, friends that are trying to create these amazing things, entrepreneurs. So that's what I'm going to put. Like, I'm surrounded by so many different groups of friends that really fulfill me in different ways. And I'm even excited just talking about it. I'm like, yes, that's an amazing life I've got going on. And I'm going to put in, like, I go on date nights with my husband once a week. And it's no longer just once a year, to be honest, which is sad to say. But that's like, this is my future self. My future self's going on a date once a week. What else is my future self doing? My future self is having, with my relationships, special times with my kids, one-on-one, like separately, not just as a family. I would love it if once a week I have, a 30-minute date with my daughter and a 30-minute date with my son, and just no phones allowed, like, just fully focused on them. Things like that. Maybe I want to be more in touch with my other parts of my family, right? and I want the kids to have a connection with their cousin. So like all these things, you can see how like inspired I'm getting by just thinking like what my future self is looking like. What does a 5 look like in my love, my relationships category? So you go ahead, just think big, think of like all the things that you love, and then go ahead and fill this out with each quadrant, right? With work. What does your work look like in your future self? What are you doing right now that you're so passionate about, that you're so excited to get up every day? And it's going in the direction that you want it to go. Just think of what that would be. And this is where I feel like people might kind of be like, it's hard because they're thinking kind of in the scope of what your current career is now and only in the steps that you can go up from that current career. But let yourself think outside the box. Like maybe it isn't that current career. Maybe just think in a broad sense, like what would your ideal kind of future self job look like? And then from there, after you kind of work out this future self, that's the best part, then you have this vision that we can make into a reality. Figure out a really tangible, actual way to get there. So this is why I say like, don't pigeonhole yourself, especially when it deals with work. Like, oh, maybe just get that promotion. Yeah, that would be nice. Like, no, think bigger. Think like that is those barriers are over, and don't be embarrassed by, because I know I'm like sometimes when I think of what I want, like my future career to be, I'm like, I can't say that out loud. It's really embarrassing. But that's what I need to say out loud. You're like, why don't you just say it out loud right now? Well, one of my things is, to become this full-time entrepreneur. I'm holding on to my full-time job, and part of it is like, why am I doing that? It's a safety net, right? So, but I feel a little silly. Like I've been fed growing up, like, no, stay secure, follow the path. And the idea of like kind of skewing from it, I'm just like, ooh, it's like the unknown. It's not as secure. But then all of a sudden, if you think of it, I'm thinking of all the negative things, but think of it like, but what could that do for me? Oh my God, when that works out, my life is going to be amazing, and I'm going to be able to have it all. Like, it's funny, I had this conversation with someone from work basically saying like, oh, I would just make all this money before. If I had known, I would have spent 20 years just making money, and then I could do what I love. And I was like, first of all, I don't know if you really want 20 years of misery, just making money, and is that really going to work? And I was like, why don't we talk about how you can do both of those things? Why does it have to be either or? And he kind of paused. He's like, yeah, I guess I never thought I could, what's the eat the cake thing? Have my cake and eat it too type of analogy. And to him, it wasn't even a positive. He's like, really? I can't get that both. But you can. And I think that's what we need to break the mold from. So anyway, as I talked about that, I hope you filled out your work. And if you haven't, you can always go back. So after those prompts, and then let's go to health. What does health look like when you're at a 5? Are you active every day? Maybe you're not active every day. Maybe a 5 for health to you looks like having a massage every day. Wow, that sounds amazing. Maybe I'm going to put that down. Actually, I'm going to put down a massage every Friday, because that's how I'm going to end my week, as like, and then, yeah, I'm going to do that. Massages every Friday. Yep. And then for me, it's exercise daily. I've always wanted to say like I'm like very present and do meditation like hours. I'm not gonna do meditation hours a day, but I'm gonna put meditation down. That's what my health looks like. So I'm kind of doing the whole body mind thing in the health section, and that's what my 5 looks like. What does your 5 look like? Now let's go to fun. Now this is where I hope we all have fun with this. Like, just think about what do you do for pure fun? What brings you pure joy, right? Something that's totally unrelated to what you have to do, but what you want to do, right? So think about that and put that down. I mean, part of my silly things about like, I've always wanted to just read a book at night. I know it sounds so simple, like just go ahead and do that. Well, that's a thing. That's like all these things, a lot of them don't have to be these like grandiose things. It could be these like simple things like, I want to read a book at night. Well, oh, I can implement that right now. Let's try to do that now. So, and for me, it's like taking kind of artistic like classes maybe every semester, just random things that can kind of spark, different creativities and stuff like that. So put down your phone, and after you've done this, step back. And I will say, as you're doing this, make sure to look at your values, just to make sure to like align and be like, oh wait, I really want, let's say for me, I really want family. Family's in my values. Make sure it's on your wheel, that family is there in multiple ways. And whatever is in your values, make sure it's somewhere in your future self. So, how'd you do? Is it awesome? Are you inspired? Are you like looking at this future self? So this is my future self, and I remember after I finished, there's a lot of words on here. After I finished it, I was like so excited. I was like, oh my God, I need to be this person right now. Patience. We will get there. So this is, apologies for the sirens, I live in New York City, which is on my future self. I think I still live in New York City on my future self, so check, there we go. But yeah, so you will end up with this, and I hope you get revved up and motivated as you're envisioning your future self. I want you to print it out. I want you don't have to frame it, but put it somewhere where at least you can see it. And this is going to be your roadmap. This is going to be your guide on those days you're feeling off and you're just like, oh, I can't do it. I don't want those off days to turn into years. I want you to stay focused. Stay focused on who your future self is so we can get you there. So what do you guys think? So at the end of all this, congratulations. I'm so excited that you're on this path with me. We started with the current self, so you know where you are now. We created and tapped into your values, what is going to fulfill you uniquely. And now you have your future self, which, amazing. I love it. I am personally so inspired to create my future self. I hope you are too. I love putting them together, actually. It's like this little fun visual. And yeah. And for those that are interested in now it's like, okay, I have this future self. Now what, right? It's one of those things like, okay, I know where I want to be. The next step is to figure out the roadmap between point A and point B. So feel free to subscribe to this channel, and I'll be putting in videos about this. But also, if you're interested, this is what I do with my one-on-one clients. Not only do I have fun making them like visuals like this, because it's just me, I love creating for them, and I think visuals are so important in your path. But what we do now is we take your point A and your point B and actually make a roadmap, a specific bite-sized roadmap on how to get here, right? Because this is daunting, honestly. It's like, okay, here I am. This is where I want to be. That's nice, but it seems like a dream, right? It seems like a dream. And I am here to tell you, it's not a dream. We can make this happen. And I want you to make this happen. And I want to do it in a very accessible way. A way where you have that roadmap on, okay, from the simple things to like, I want to go on a date for once a week. But on the bigger things, like, I want to create my own business, or I want to be my own boss, or I want to be able to live somewhere else and have, a life full of like kids and family, or it could be anything. And honestly, there's a roadmap for it, and there's a strategy to get you there. And I can't wait to help you in that path. Anyway, can you tell I'm excited? I'm excited. I'm excited for you. So share with me your future self if you want, if you feel comfortable. Oh, and don't forget the most important part is to fill it all out, because how awesome is that? To see that full of color, especially if you look at it in comparison to my current self, where my wheel is not as colorful, but this one is just full of life. So yeah, share it with me. Give me a comment that you did it, how you liked it, and I can't wait to see you in, well, you know, see you, but you know what I mean. I'll see you guys soon. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Have a great day.